Victor Lustig was born on January 4, 1890, in Hostine, Austria-Hungary in what is now the Czech Republic. From an early age, Victor showed signs of extraordinary intelligence and a unique charm that could captivate anyone. His family, though not wealthy, valued education, and Victor excelled in his studies. However, it was not just academics that caught young Victor's interest. He was deeply fascinated by the art of persuasion and manipulation. Victor's journey into the world of con artistry began during his teenage years. He attended the University of Paris, where he quickly realized that traditional paths would not satisfy his ambitions. He was drawn to the thriving underground world of con men, thieves, and gamblers. Victor's natural charm and wit allowed him to blend in and learn from some of the best in the trade. His first major con involved a simple card game swindle, where he exploited the naivety of wealthy tourists. This small-time hustle laid the groundwork for more sophisticated schemes. Victor traveled across Europe, perfecting his skills and developing an extensive network of contacts within the criminal underworld. One of Victor's most infamous scams was the money box con. He designed a small, elaborate box that he claimed could duplicate banknotes. The box was a masterpiece of deception, complete with hidden compartments and mechanical components that gave it an air of authenticity. Victor would demonstrate the box's capabilities by inserting a genuine banknote and, after a few hours, producing two identical notes. The second note, of course, was another genuine note pre-placed in the box. Victor targeted wealthy but greedy individuals, convincing them that the money box was a revolutionary invention that could make them rich. The marks, blinded by greed, would pay large sums for the box, only to discover later that it was a worthless piece of machinery. By then, Victor was long gone, enjoying the fruits of his labor. In the mid-1920s, Victor Lustig conceived one of the most audacious cons in history, selling the Eiffel Tower. Paris in the 1920s was a city of contrasts, recovering from World War I while experiencing a cultural renaissance. The Eiffel Tower, an iconic symbol of the city, was expensive to maintain, and rumors circulated that the French government might consider dismantling it. Victor saw an opportunity. He forged official-looking documents and posed as a government official from the Ministry of Posts and Telegraphs. Renting a luxurious suite at the prestigious Hôtel de Crillon, he sent out invitations to 6 of the city's leading scrap metal dealers, inviting them to a confidential meeting. At the meeting, Victor explained that the government had decided to sell the Eiffel Tower for scrap metal due to the high maintenance costs. He emphasized the need for secrecy to avoid public outcry. The dealers, eager for a lucrative deal, listened intently. Among them was André Poisson, a relatively new player in the industry who was eager to make a name for himself. Victor targeted Poisson as his primary mark. Over the next few days, he and Poisson engaged in private negotiations. Victor arranged a private tour of the Eiffel Tower for Poisson, pointing out its supposed structural weaknesses and the potential profit in selling it as scrap metal. Poisson, dazzled by the prospect of acquiring such a prestigious contract, agreed to purchase the tower for a substantial sum. The transaction was conducted in utmost secrecy, with Poisson handing over the payment in cash. Victor, with the money in hand, disappeared from Paris. Poisson soon discovered the bitter truth. He had been conned. Ashamed and embarrassed, Poisson did not go to the police, fearing ridicule and the ruin of his reputation. Victor Lustig's success with the Eiffel Tower scam emboldened him. He spent the next few months traveling through Europe, enjoying the wealth he had amassed. However, the allure of Paris and the thrill of the con drew him back. By the following year, he was ready to execute the scheme again. With a new identity and a fresh batch of forged documents, Victor returned to Paris. He rented a suite at the Hôtel de Crillon and sent out invitations to another group of metal dealers. The plan was the same, but this time Victor's experience made him even more convincing. The dealers arrived, and Victor repeated his performance, exuding authority and charm. Among the group was another ambitious businessman, eager to seize the opportunity. Victor focused his efforts on this new mark, employing the same tactics of pressure and persuasion. The second sale proceeded smoothly, with Victor receiving another substantial payment. However, this time the dealer became suspicious after the transaction. He approached the authorities, and the truth began to unravel. Victor, sensing danger, fled Paris once again, narrowly escaping capture. Despite this close call, Victor Lustig's daring cons earned him a reputation as one of the most brilliant and audacious scammers of his time. The story of the man who sold the Eiffel Tower twice became a legend, capturing the imagination of people around the world. But Victor's exploits were far from over. In the late 1920s, Victor Lustig moved to the United States, seeking new opportunities in the land of wealth and excess. America during the Roaring Twenties was a place of unprecedented economic growth, and Victor quickly adapted to his new surroundings. He continued to execute a series of high-profile cons that would cement his reputation as one of history's greatest con artists. One of Victor's most notorious ventures in the United States was his counterfeiting operation. He partnered with a talented chemist named William Watts, and together they produced high-quality counterfeit banknotes. The notes were so convincing that they circulated widely, causing headaches for banks and authorities alike. Victor's counterfeiting operation became so successful that he earned the nickname, the Count. Victor's counterfeiting scheme was meticulously planned. He and Watts set up shop in a series of rented apartments, always staying on the move to avoid detection. They invested in the best printing equipment and used genuine banknotes as templates for their forgeries. Victor's keen eye for detail and Watts's technical expertise made their counterfeit bills nearly indistinguishable from the real thing. As the counterfeit notes flooded the market, the authorities launched a nationwide manhunt to capture the elusive con artist. Victor, always one step ahead, used his charm and cunning to evade capture. He moved from city to city, changing identities and appearances as needed. His ability to blend in and disappear into the crowd made him a ghost, haunting the dreams of law enforcement officials. Despite his extraordinary success, Victor Lustig's luck eventually ran out. In 1935, after years of evading capture, he was finally apprehended by American authorities. His arrest marked the end of an era, but Victor remained unrepentant. Even in custody, he maintained his air of charm and confidence, refusing to let his spirit be broken. Victor Lustig's trial was a sensational affair, drawing widespread media attention. He was charged with multiple counts of fraud, counterfeiting, and conspiracy. Despite his best efforts to charm the jury, the evidence against him was overwhelming. Victor was found guilty and sentenced to 20 years in Alcatraz, the notorious federal penitentiary. Life in Alcatraz was harsh, but Victor adapted to his new environment. He used his charm and intelligence to gain favor with both inmates and guards. Despite the confinement, he continued to scheme and plot, always looking for a way to regain his freedom. However, the walls of Alcatraz proved to be an insurmountable barrier, and Victor Lustig spent the remainder of his days in confinement. Victor Lustig's story is a testament to the power of audacity and deception. His ability to exploit the greed and ambitions of others, combined with his meticulous planning and execution, made him one of the most successful con artists in history. His exploits have been the subject of numerous books, movies, and documentaries, each recounting the incredible tale of the man who sold the Eiffel Tower twice. In the annals of criminal history, Victor Lustig stands out as a master of his craft. His life serves as a reminder of the thin line between genius and madness, and the extraordinary lengths to which some will go in pursuit of wealth and power. Despite his many crimes, Victor's charisma and cunning continue to captivate and inspire, ensuring that his legend will live on for generations to come. Over the years, the story of Victor Lustig has taken on a life of its own, with numerous embellishments and variations. Some accounts portray him as a Robin Hood-like figure, stealing from the rich and giving to the poor. Others depict him as a cold-hearted manipulator, driven solely by greed. The truth, as is often the case, lies somewhere in between. Victor Lustig was a complex individual, a man of many contradictions. He was a brilliant mind who chose to use his talents for deception rather than legitimate pursuits. He was a charming and persuasive individual who could win over even the most skeptical of marks. And yet, beneath the surface, he was also a deeply flawed person, driven by a need for recognition and a desire to outsmart those around him. As the years have passed, Victor's story has been retold countless times, each version adding new layers to the myth. While the core of the tale remains the same, the audacious schemes, the elaborate cons, and the eventual downfall, the details have been shaped by the imaginations of those who recount it. In this way, Victor Lustig has become a larger-than-life figure, a symbol of the eternal struggle between law and chaos, order and anarchy. And Victor Lustig's legacy is a testament to the enduring allure of the con artist. His story continues to fascinate and captivate, offering a glimpse into a world where charm and deception can triumph over honesty and integrity. While his actions were undoubtedly criminal, there is a certain admiration for his ingenuity and audacity. In the end, Victor Lustig remains a figure of intrigue and mystery, a reminder of the power of the human mind to create and deceive.